So growing up, religion didn't really play a part in my life really at all. And I ended up going to a Catholic school for some sports stuff. And freshman year, I went on a retreat and I had this experience with Christ, but I didn't follow it at all. And then about a year ago, I realized that something was missing in my life. And it felt like it was something big. And so I kind of went on this search to find something greater. And I didn't search all that hard actually until this school year, and I really didn't tell anyone else that I was searching. Um, but about a month or so into school, Ian reached out to me with an invite to come to Cruz Bible Study, and I showed up, and it was just super cool and way different than I was expecting it to be. So I kept coming back, and I got to a point where I'd accepted Jesus, his life, his death, and his resurrection, all his historical facts, but I hadn't given myself over to Christ at all. And so I signed up for fall retreat, hoping that maybe that would happen, but also not really having super high expectations.
Yeah, so I last semester I just been told by Gabe, one of the student leaders, one night he was like, invite 3 people to Bible study tomorrow, right now. And Emily was one of the people I invited. I was like, I know, like I knew her from classes, like we weren't like close, but I knew she wasn't religious. But I was like, you know what, we'll see what happens. And I invited her, and she was like, yeah, actually, this is kind of something I've been thinking about doing, like getting more involved in. And I was like, oh, heck yeah. And then she came to Bible study the next day, and she was like, can I come back? I was like, yes. And she just started jumping into everything. She came to Bible study every week. She came to all the other stuff we had. She was coming to church. She switched up her work schedule to be able to do that. It was like everything she could. She was just all in. I think we even suggested that she read The Case for Christ pretty early on, and she read it in like 3 days. She was just like super interested and excited about all of this stuff. Um, and then she even wanted to come to fall retreat, and so we we all went, and it was a great time. And then she ended up having to leave early, but so she left right before the one of the evening sessions. And during that session, I was sitting down and then I was praying, and I was just thinking about um, the past few months and how Emily had the past month and how Emily had just kind of jumped into everything. And I was sitting there praying about it, and I was like, God, this feels so crazy that so much is going on and so much is happening in her life. But it also, like, I don't feel like I have the faith to believe that you can change her, like that you can really bring her and save her. And and so I was sitting there and I was realizing like I don't trust God as much as I should. And but I think I sat down and I just prayed in that moment. I was like, Lord, like you say in your word that you will do far more than we could ever ask, think, or imagine. So I just asked that you would um, save Emily tonight. And then I got a text like less than an hour later, which was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't really have any major expectations going into fall retreat. I just tried to go in with an open mind and an open heart. And the second day, we had this session where they basically said, go spend 40 minutes with God. And I decided to journal. And as I was journaling, I was just kind of reflecting on the month and how I wasn't having the same moment I had before. And I remember writing like, God, I'm scared that I missed my chance. Um, I was really worried about that and that I was like wasting people's time. And so we went to sessions later that day, and I remember the speaker. We were looking at First Kings when Elijah's on the mountain, and the speaker said, "God won't talk to you the same way every time." And I didn't fully absorb that until I went home and I was reflecting on it, and I realized like that was God talking to me, telling me, "Hey, I'm not going to talk to you the same way every time, but I'm still here, and you didn't miss out." And so that was the night that I gave my life to Christ. Yeah, now I just have peace and fulfillment